Thank you. This afternoon, I came to visit Mr. President uh, to give him an update on the security situation in Niger State with regards to the banditry activities, kidnapping, cattle rustling, and what have you. So we had a very fruitful discussion, and were able to review some of the operations within the state. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you all, but I can tell you in principle, um, agreed to work together. He offers support, and in the last few days, there has been lots of activities in Niger State. So hopefully, in the next few weeks, we'll see some relief with regards to banditry. Um, I also explained, I gave my highlight of some of the challenges. Of course, our size is a disadvantage, almost 9 million hectares with lots of forest. Um, from January, in January alone this year, we have suffered not less than 50 reported attacks with loss of lives between 1st of January and the 17th of January. At the same time, within the same period, not less than 300 communities have been invaded by bandits. Number of people kidnapped, 200, including 3 Chinese nationals. We also unfortunately lost some security personnel, numbering 25. Unfortunately, we lost about 165 civilians and 30 local vigilantes. So it is a very dire situation that we have been battling in the last few weeks since the beginning of this year. But I am very optimistic with the kind of zeal I have seen from our security agencies, all services. I am very optimistic that uh, the situation will be addressed, and hopefully we should get a very peaceful state within the shortest possible time. But there is still a lot of work to do. We share border with the Kaduna, Zamfara states, Kebbi, and these bandits have a habit of hibernating between forest, uh, moving from Zamfara to Kebbi to Niger. Uh, they take advantage of the cattle routes, which they already know. They move on motorcycles, and most of the areas or the communities they attack um, have no access roads, so you cannot drive there. So our response time is slow unless we have to use the Air Force, of course. But uh, going forward, there will be new strategies, which I earlier mentioned. It will help us if I'm to disclose some of those strategies now. But basically, the states of Kaduna, Niger, Kebbi will have to work together to address the situation. What I realize is that they've been taking us on a merry-go-round. When we deal with them in Niger, they move to Kaduna. When Kaduna deals with them, they move to Katsina, and they've been hibernating in the forest. So some of these operations need to be handled simultaneously so that we get the yielded results. So be that as it may, like I said, we're not happy. We're very sad with the development in these states. We're doing whatever we can using kinetic and non-kinetic efforts to see that we address the present situation. So as we go on, we'll try to update you from time to time on progress is being made in this fight. All these services are working together. The Air Force, the Navy, the DSS, the police, local vigilantes, all hands are on deck. It's not being here in Abuja, you never understand what we're going through. Uh, we must appreciate the size of the state. Like I said, almost 8.3 million hectares is the size of the state. 8.3 million hectares with more than 300 forest reserves, uh, out of which you have communities where we call the soft targets, where these bandits attack. And to give an example from Mina, to get such communities, you drive 10 hours. So if there's a distress call in those communities, by the time our security agents get there, the damage has already been done. We used to have, or we still have some communities where uh, ransoms are being collected. We will try to discourage them from paying such ransoms, because even when they do pay ransoms, it doesn't stop bandits from attacking them again. Actually, what it does, it empowers them. Uh, when you pay levies to bandits, they use such monies to go and purchase weapons, and they come back and attack you. I can understand if when you pay levy, they will never come back, but they still come back. So we try to speak to those communities to please desist from paying such levies. However, we'll appreciate, even though most of them have no networks, but I guess if there's a very robust communicating system and with a very purposeful vigilante system, I think it will help. But like I said, all hands are on deck, and in the last few days, a lot has been happening within Niger State, and it will extend to neighboring states. If you maintain the tempo that I see now, I presume in the next 2 weeks, we cannot eradicate banditry 100%, but I believe in the next 2 weeks, we'll see some calmness in some parts of the states. But back to your question with regards to communities paying ransom or levy to bandits, those communities, like I said, I wish you have time to come so we can go around. I think it is very important, because sometimes when you see, then you appreciate the situation more. Those communities are mostly farmers. In their own wisdom, in their head, they feel that giving paying levy or ransoms to bandits is a solution. But in the end, it doesn't work. And like I said, most of those communities have no, if you were to drive there, in some cases, you have to go on motorbikes or motorcycles. So they did not even have a police outpost. They did not even have a police outpost. We're not able to police the entire state. To give an example, in 2015, in 1999, from the records, from what I'm being told, Niger State had about 14,000 policemen. Today we have 4,000. So if you look at the states, you look at the number of communities in the forest, the local governments, it is practically impossible to have a very strong, robust police division in every community. So we have to contend with managing, mixing military with police, having to move them around on motorcycles, in vehicles, or what have you. In some cases, they have to go on boats to some communities. Take, for example, the forest reserve in Borgu local government. The national park there is 5,000 square kilometers, just that one park. 5,000 square kilometers, if you have a small camp of bandits, it's like dropping a drop in an ocean. So I still maintain that going forward, we must deploy a lot of technology to fill in the gap. So we're using the traditional rulers to send messages to their communities, to interface with them. One of the efforts we need to do is to reactivate the traditional system where every village head is accountable to people within his domain. Another major problem is the informants. Now, to give an example, anytime you deploy military to a distressed place, They have informants telling the bandits that troops are on their way. So by the time, most times when the troops get there, they don't see anyone. So they're very elusive. We're dealing with a different kind of threat. But like I said, now that this entire state has been dominated by both military, air force, and police, I am very optimistic in the next 2 weeks we'll get some relief. In the next 2 weeks, yeah. We have a list of communities where we are focusing on, where we feel has become like a base. So now we are focusing on those communities. But it doesn't mean they won't move to other communities. So when I say in the next 2 weeks we will see some relief, I want to believe that with the right tactics and with a lot of pressure, they will probably move out of Niger to another state. And that's not what we want, because even if they move to another state, eventually they'll come back. Eventually they'll come back. Going forward, and I mentioned this earlier on, the neighboring states will have to work simultaneously. We must work simultaneously, because Niger is doing one thing, Kaduna is doing a different thing. It doesn't work that way. But with the tempo, with what I have seen, I can tell you, for example, in the last 3 months, everywhere was calm. I mean, you get isolated cases, but nothing worrying, nothing disturbing. But from January 1st to 17th, it was very disturbing. So now that there's increase in manpower in terms of security agents, the areas they're able to cover will be more. Now, back to sustainability, and you're right, and that's a major, major challenge. We cannot afford to keep a team in a particular community forever. Now, that's the problem. And once you move them out of those communities, there's every tendency that the bandits will come back. That we must find a way to deal with it. One way is to increase the number of personnel, massive recruitment. Two is to increase number of vigilantes to support, because security actually is a responsibility for all, and most of these communities are farmers. Most of the vigilantes are farmers. So if they get some support after the conventional police and military officers leave their communities, they should be able to protect their own communities. So yes, I am worried about sustainability.